welcome back. My name's Jack, the snack that smiles back. And today, you're joining me today for some fresh tea content. I've got mine filled up, lemongrass and ginger all the way. Herbal tea, babe. Mwah. As always, if you do like and subscribe, you are entitled to a free high five and shoulder massage. I don't know, what do you want from me? This story by Mission Climate. Am I the a-hole for not getting my son's paternity tested? My ex-wife and I divorced about 4 years ago, as she was dealing with substance abuse and putting our children in danger. I have sole custody of all 3 of our kids, as I make much more than she does, and she was unsure of her housing situation immediately following the divorce, and was dealing with the substance abuse issues. The 2 oldest were then teen girls who didn't really want much to do with her anymore. My youngest, my son, is now 6, and he would occasionally see her when the divorce first occurred. X does not pay court-ordered child support, and has since moved several states away. She still occasionally video chats with my son, but it seemed he'd gotten used to not having her in his life. However, recently, she told me she would like to pursue custody of my son. Apparently, the person she moved in with is the real father, and she claims my son should be with his real parents. I was stunned initially. I never thought it was possible I had raised someone else's child. X is insisting I take a paternity test, but I refuse. And the more I think about it, the more I realize how much I love my son. In my eyes, he is mine. I cried when I first held him, raised him. I fed him, changed him, washed him, cheered when he learned how to crawl, taught him how to ride a bike. He is my son in every way, whether or not a paternity test says so. I told her that I would sue her for all the unpaid child support, as well as emotional damage and medical expenses I paid for her that I know she can't afford to pay back if she tried to pursue custody. Furthermore, she has been largely out of my son's life for 4 years, and the other man has never even been in his life. I can't imagine the kind of damage it could do to uproot him from his sisters and me to send him to live with virtual strangers, including a woman who had such severe substance abuse issues she was using even while pregnant. X randomly showed up to my house one day, telling me she was clean and that her son should be with his mother and real father. I threatened to call the cops until she left. I've since blocked her from all my contacts and warned the rest of my family that she may try to get to my son through them. Her partner recently called me and begged me to see his side, that he needed to know if he had a son that he never got to meet, and that it was the right thing for me to take a paternity test. I blocked him as well. I have been talking to a lawyer ever since. Part of my family is conflicted, and thinks I should get the test just to know for sure. I'm on the birth certificate, and according to my lawyer, at the moment they do not have a strong case for custody. It's been about 2 months since I heard from my ex or her partner. They have not yet pursued anything, but I am ready to fight for my son in case they do. Am I the a-hole for refusing to get this paternity tested? Not the a-hole. You're a parent protecting their child. This would be traumatizing for them. I would also advise the school to be on the lookout. Tell him when he's older if you want. However, a parent isn't necessarily biological. It's who loves and raises the child. You love him. He loves you. You take care of his needs and wants and ensure he becomes a decent member of society. You're the parent. Nata, you need to do what's best for your son, and that means not endangering his living situation. However, when it is legally safe to do so, you should find out, because he will need to know his accurate medical history for his own best interest. Also, if it can be safe to do so, I think he should be able to have contact with the person who may be his bio-dad, if he wants to, and if it can be done legally, safely. As your son gets older and older, you should give him more say in the matter, but right now, he's so young that the most important thing is keeping him safe. I'll let my son decide for himself once he's older, but I'll be damned if my ex thinks she's getting her hands on him right now. Right now you have the son in custody. You are his dad. But part of being his dad is to prepare him for whatever life throws his way. Don't wait until he's 18 or significantly older than now to deal with this. He is young, but he needs to grow up with the knowledge that he is your son, but may not be your biological son, and you should get a paternity test for his sake. Withholding the truth will be traumatic for the son. It's a massive breach of trust in the father and son relationship. Even at 6 years old, the son is capable enough to understand his dad is his dad, even if they don't share genetics. Gonna agree with that. Obviously, with this kind of being a new scenario for this child to deal with, it will be confusing at first, but easily waverable. Provided you, as the father, make sure to point out that, yeah, father and son relationships don't need to be biological. Now, I generally always agree with being honest with children and not putting off revealing major secrets or info until they're an adult, but I think there's a major difference in this specific case. The ex wants a paternity test specifically to prove OP isn't the child's biological father, that her partner is, and to get custody of the child. I honestly don't know how much it would actually go toward them getting custody if the paternity test came back that OP isn't the father, but that's not a risk I would be willing to take at all. There is some yatar though. I'm not sure you're thinking much about your son, but rather about you. Maybe he's your biological son. Maybe he isn't. If he isn't, you are keeping him from both of his biological parents. I wouldn't hand custody over to her, but I wouldn't cut her out of his life either. I would try to work things out so he could have more people who love him in his life, not less. Everyone sucks here. Part of me feels he's being motivated a bit by his ego. I know there's a masculine trait for some men that's rather toxic where they feel like if they're raising someone else's child, it makes them a less of a man or some stupid thing. As if they're having to clean up after someone else's irresponsible choices. But it's just an inkling here. I mean, especially the way the mother is suddenly wanting custody and revealing that he never was the real father. I'll still stick to Natar. But I think if the OP attempts any other effort to block the mother and possible father from the child's life, then yeah, it would start to become a growing yatar. This story by Ayush66. Am I the a-hole for suggesting a coworker should wear a diaper after she poops herself multiple times? Yep, that's the title. We have a coworker, Jessica, who's kind of a jack-A for many reasons, like constantly spilling coffee over important papers, trying to put a broken coffee mug in the shredder, and breaking office supplies constantly. She also starts drama. Unfortunately, this diphead is employed because her father is high up. Jessica recently dumped herself after she ate some bad burritos and the stalls were occupied, so she pooped herself. Oh, that's the story she tells, but I think it's bull smack because there's 6 stalls in the girls' bathroom and we only have 18 women in our area, so I don't believe it. She pooped herself in the middle of the office and public safety protocol called for us to evacuate the office and have that area chemically cleaned. That wasted most of the day. She did the same thing 2 days later. I was freaking ticked off. I had to pull all-nighters catching up on the work I missed because of her bull smack, and so did many others. A few days later, apparently, she pooped on the toilet seat and walls. I didn't see it, thank God. I was with friends and I said that Jessica should be wearing diapers because I'm sick of this stuff. Someone overheard me and told Jessica, and Jessica approached me about it and said I should apologize. I said, no, screw you, Jessica. What grown woman poops herself? You act like a baby, so dress like one too. Wear a freaking diaper so others don't have to clean up your stuff. I do enough of your work that you don't finish. She reported me to HR and now I'm in possible trouble. Freaking hell. Kinda hypocritical for you to criticize her for being one that starts drama when you literally started this drama. Also, okay, I know I was influencing it by the tone I had when reading the story, but my gosh, does this person sound like she lacks any ability to understand those with mental difficulties or just disabilities in general? Like, if a grown adult is going through this kind of stuff, clearly there is something biologically wrong with them? Unless they have the brain capacity of a goldfish, I think they're quite aware of the social issues they're causing. And so your response being to berate at her or say things behind her back as how pathetic you think she is, that's not gonna solve it. You have every right to complain about this kind of issue happening at the workplace, but speak to HR about that kind of thing. Don't try and shame her just because you want an ego trip. You're the a-hole. I mean, think what you want, but you're an adult. You should know better than to say stuff like that at work. Agreed. Yatta. There is countless other ways to handle the situation. Lowering yourself to such a degree pinpoints you as a major a-hole. Such unprofessionalism. Nata, but possibly career suicide, especially if her dad is high up. We have a guy like your Jessica in my office. We had HR deal with it. Oh wow, I didn't realize it was such a common thing. You also got someone pooping themselves? Problem is, we're in Macedonia. Ah, that must be where macarons are made. And working for a multi-billion foreign company, Jessica is the daughter of the top foreign leadership. She can't be removed. Yep, regarding a person pooping themselves, but a guy. In his case, he wears diapers now, but still has leak issues sometimes. Cleaning crew refused to clean his office chair, so now he has a plastic one. In our ladies' room, we had someone pooping on the seat and wall already. We never figured out who it was. Wait, so someone does it on the floor and wall is... Okay, no, that's weird. Again, you must have some mental health issues if you are doing that. That isn't normal. And again explains why berating them as if they were a person who didn't have mental health issues isn't exactly a good solution. Yata, there are some colon diseases that can flare at random with no warning that can cause this to happen. Way to be mature about it. Do you suppose she liked being the known cause for the office getting evacuated? How about you equating her to a baby? Get over it. Everyone sucks here. You were venting initially, but took it too far once she overheard. On the flip side, grown adults who poop themselves in an office have some things they need to work on with themselves. Not the a-hole. And from the sound of it too, you do have a form of occupational health and safety since you had to close your office twice for a biological contamination caused by Jessica. I would find out if your OHSA protects employees from being disciplined or fired for raising safety concerns in the office. Obviously, this is a safety concern. If protocol dictates the office is closed, then make an office HR record of your conversation with your coworkers on these safety concerns. Here, HR would be mandated to save your record with these two incidents logged. Her dad may be able to skate around HR, but not OHSA. He would be opening up the company to a massive liability. Alright, just casually planning how to fire someone like a heist movie? They do have a good point, though. Aside from OP's terrible execution at bringing up the issue, the fact this Jessica person is doing this in the workplace isn't acceptable as just normal behavior that should be treated as if just carry on. Thing is too, she's probably already working on it and has already made this clear to HR and the workplace in general. But in regards to if the OP did the right thing, no, they're the a-hole. But hey, I mean, if you have experiences of people like this that you just need a vent out about, please let me know one. Maybe I'll read them out in a separate video. Boo! Hello? Give me focus, there it is. My name's Jack, the creepy voice you're hearing in your head right now. Just materializing in this reality to ask that you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. I love doing this thing that I make noises out of my mouth and it goes into your face. And you think I'm saying things that make some sense, or not, and then you tell me I'm an idiot in the comments. Whatever works for you. If you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you join the family. That's all I needed to say. I'll let you back to it. This story by AmiTheA. Am I the a-hole for refusing a dying man's wish? Okay, first of all, a little pretext. About 7.5 years ago, I met someone. Let's call her Hella. At the time, she was still married, but was separated from her husband, who we will call John. They have 3 kids, 11, 14, and 17, together. The kids and John live with Hella's mother, who we will call Anne, at this time. So, quite a few characters. We got Hella, who is John's partner, John, who is Hella's husband, or separated husband, and Anne, who is Hella's mother, and currently John and the 3 kids are living with. Fast forward 6 months, and Hella and I get together, while John and the kids still live at Anne's house. John is unemployed and doesn't have a valid license. John also can't stop drinking long enough to take a shower, can't stop taking opioids, and Anne is taking full care of the kids. At this time, Hella has no contact with anyone. Fast forward another year. Hella and I leave one job and pursue another. We are successful in our new lives and get an apartment together, and have stable jobs. Hella still hasn't had contact with anyone. John is still drinking, still doesn't have a job, and still abuses opioids. Fast forward 2 years. Hella and I have new jobs, and make good money. One day, Hella's brother, we will call Judah, and he lives with the horde. Nice description of the family, buddy. Judah tells us that we are literally the only people that can do something about John because Hella and John have custody. We tell Judah to have Anne call us. Anne calls, and we agree to sign over custody of the kids to Anne so that John can't take the kids. We agree to this only under the agreement that Hella and I can now start talking to our children. John is told to leave the house. John moves in with his parents, who kick him out within 3 months. The kids stay at Anne's, and we begin to rebuild the relationships with our children. Around this time, Hella is officially divorced from John, and 6 months later, we are legally married. Fast forward 3 years. Hella and I have a great relationship with our children. John has no contact with them. It's at this time that we find out John is dying. His liver is failing and he refuses to stop drinking. They have to pump his stomach before they can do a dialysis. Fast forward to Am I the A-hole? John reaches out to Hella, and for whatever reason, Hella responds. He won't live through the year, most likely, and wants to apologize to her. He also wanted to let her know he was an alien and was just going home. His report on the human race was finished. Yes, he's that guy. Who? That guy? What? Is that a thing? He wants to speak with me. I told Hella no. You have to understand, I love my children. They were just born before I met them. I have literally watched this human garbage hurt them and upset them constantly. He has disappointed them, hasn't provided anything, hasn't made an effort. Meanwhile, I buy everything they need, and 80% of what they want. I know what he wants to say to me. He wants to know that I'll look after his kids when he is gone. I don't believe whatever little piece of him that's left deserves the peace of mind knowing they will be okay. He hasn't cared for years. So am I the a-hole? TLDR, dying deadbeat ex-husband wants to talk to stepdad to know kids will be okay. One thing that's been crossing my mind while reading this though is how apparently the kids had no contact with Hella, well, Hella had no contact with the kids, yet he was able to buy all this stuff in regards to what the OP is saying. How do you have no contact with the children yet are still able to pay for stuff for them and buy them things and watch them grow up? It's likely he's just simplifying this for the sake of making it fit in the post with the restricted word count, but over 2 years of not being in contact with the children? At least mention your attempts to get in contact with them, and also, what is with Anne, Hella's mother, denying access to her own kids? I'm questioning too much of this. Personally, I honestly think you're tar if you don't let this guy know that his kids are going to be okay. I mean, it's not going to hurt the kids for you just to say to this guy and give him a peace of mind when he passes that he's going to be leaving children to good people. Sounds like he just wants to make sure his kids are going to be better off without him, which they are. Anyway, let's see what other people say. I mean, he's dying. Literally dying. He's not going to be alive anymore. No, you're not going to be the a-hole if you don't talk to him, but is that all you strive for? You don't want to be better? You don't want to be kind and compassionate? Make the world one iota more caring? Edit to add. Also, you make this all about what he's bought them versus you. The man obviously has severe mental disorders if he believes he is an alien. He also has severe addiction issues. No, he's not a great guy, but those things are not great things to deal with either. Oh my god, I completely forgot about the alien thing. Okay, is that a really common thing? This is honestly the first I've heard of people bringing up the fact that they are aliens from another planet. Well, anyone over the age of 7, at least. Everyone sucks here. Your girlfriend at the time's crazy husband was good enough for her to leave the kids with him for 3+ years, while the two of you went off and lived your lives. So it feels a bit odd for you to get up on a high horse about what garbage person he is. Beyond that, while I don't think you owe anything to John such that you could be the a-hole to him, it feels like refusing to talk to someone you think is crazy purely because of your sense of umbrage is being the a-hole to your wife and kids, inasmuch as that's just encouraging him to escalate the situation while not really benefiting you in any way. Not the point of this post, but I'm going to say it. You sound fairly haughty for a guy having an affair with a married woman who abandoned her kids with a substance abuser and then signed over rights to those kids to her mother so she could live a fun, unencumbered life. Glass houses and stones and all. Everyone sucks here. Again, there seems to be a lot of unchecked parts to the story. At least I hope there is, because otherwise it really sounds like this couple got away with just abandoning 3 kids under the false pretense that, oh well, the father was just not letting them be in contact. Like, at least discuss your attempts to be in contact with the children. I'm thinking maybe they purposely were away for those 3 years to develop a decent income for when they eventually do take the kids under themselves. The OP does mention that the jobs they both had were traveling jobs that had them over 2,000 miles away from their kids, so it's possible they were in positions where they were earning decent money, but of course couldn't have the kids with them at the same time, but in the long run might have been better to wait 3 years before getting the kids in custody versus getting them straight away and just being poor with them. So I guess it comes down to what's the greatest greater sacrifice? Long-time income and financial support for your 3 children that have now developed slight PTSD with their parenting for the last 3 years? Or saving the kids straight away but struggling to be able to actually afford anything for them? Honestly, I know it makes me an a-hole to say it, but I would have chosen what they've done. I totally understand if the kids would hate me for doing it, but if it would enable me to give them financial access to a better future, then I will take the risk. And so with that, I have to tally this as an everyone sucks here, but hey, if you think I'm wrong, feel free to point out, as I feel like this one's a bit of a complicated issue.
Oh, you're still here. Oh, hi. What? Okay, well, look, if you're here, you might as well have made sure you liked the video and subscribed. You have some weird thing going on between us here if you haven't already. Come on, stop being such a tease. Make it Facebook official. In this case, YouTube official. I love doing the content, and I'd love to hear your opinions. Again, always leave your stuff down below. I do try to read them. I don't always get notified of the comments, so I may miss a few, and I apologize in advance. To those who have already subscribed to me, thank you so much. It honestly means the world. Well, that's the end. Be sure to check out some more stories on the channel while you're here. And I guess until then, I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.